Dumb. Shut your up. Go enjoy your PTSD. You.
Anytime you find yourself wishing PTSD on someone, you're not the good guy. Up next for our internet story of the day, we're going to check in with our absolute fave, ironically, of course, the toxic left-wing streamer and influencer Hasan Piker, you know, the media darling who gets all the glossy magazine covers and everything, and has like special golden boy privileges at Twitch where he can apparently just do whatever he wants and break the rules and they don't punish him much, or to the extent that they should at least. And we're going to talk about something that actually happened while I was on my trip, but I just have to talk about it because it's absolutely crazy. Hasan was reading his chat and arguing with one of his viewers who is a veteran, and essentially crashed out at his own viewer and like told him like enjoy your PTSD, and went on this insane rant snapping at this veteran because of his veteran status in a way that blatantly violates Twitch's rules and guidelines. But of course, remember, like, those don't apply to Hasan. He's special, I guess. Anyway, we're going to react to this insane crash out from Hasan, and apologies in advance to my editor because he's about to have to do so much bleeping because this is one foul-mouthed young man here. Anyway, here's him speaking to one of his chatters who, remember, is a service member or a veteran who served our country. Here's how Hasan thanks him for his service. Let's listen.
15 years out from Iraq, eat my. Do you even have your remaining, or did a IED explode them for you, dumb? Shut the up talking about Islam. You are an infinitely bigger terrorist than any random Muslim ever could be.
He just said because his chatter served in the Iraq war that he's a terrorist, and he joked or mocked him about being blown up and having his body parts blown up with a roadside explosion. That's a super normal way to respond to somebody who says they don't support Islam or have concerns about it. Because, and listen, maybe this guy said something he shouldn't have. Maybe he said something bad because he maybe he said something bad, maybe he said something offensive, whatever. It's like, well, you can always just delete him or kick him out of your chat or whatever, or ignore it. You don't have to go on this insane screed bashing veterans. Like, what is it with some of these progressive, like far left? We saw this with Frogan as well. It was another one of these where they go after veterans. So it's like one of the only groups that almost all Americans still agree deserve our respect, and they just have to like cross that line. It's kind of sad.
Dumb. Shut your up. Go enjoy your PTSD. You. Imagine having.
I'm sorry, but like anytime you find yourself wishing PTSD on someone, you're not the good guy. You're not the like brave and tolerant and kind, open-minded one. You're actually just a piece of like, that is such a terrible thing to say to somebody. So many lives have been ruined and destroyed by PTSD, and they got it in most cases as veterans by signing up to do something noble, in theory at least, even if in practice, you know, the wars we fought in many were harmful. It's like they were trying to do something good. They were trying to serve their country. They experienced these horrible things. Many of them lose their lives to mental health struggles, and their families are devastated. And here you are crashing out and telling people, enjoy your PTSD. Wow, you're so tough. You're so edgy. That's what they're doing. It's like this dirtbag leftist aesthetic they go for. But in reality, I think it just makes you look like a jerk. It makes you look unhinged and unstable. That's my take, at least.
Imagine having the audacity to be like, yeah, I went to Iraq. And it's actually Islam that's the biggest danger. You're the danger, idiot. You're a danger to your family.
Oh my gosh. Here he is weaponizing as an insult the like horrific violence that some families face at the hands of service members who come back and have PTSD. That's not, bro, like, this is so gross. You're just crossing so many lines, and you're not making an argument. You're not explaining why, hey, actually, Islam's not a threat you should worry about, and here's why. That would be actually how you would engage constructively in this conversation. And even if what he's saying about this soldier in Iraq being harmful to and being a terrorist, like, let's not even debate whether that's true or not. It doesn't have anything to do with whether or not radical Islam poses a threat to the West, even if there's also a threat from U.S. soldiers harming people in foreign countries, Islam could still be it's just like it's kind of whataboutism. It doesn't answer the point or address the debate or the question at all.
And a danger to yourself, douchebag. Law, that's getting clipped, Lamont. I don't give a dude. Shut the up. If you go to Iraq and you learn that lesson, you realize that was wrong, you're welcome here. You come back from Iraq and you talk about how this was actually awesome and I hate Islam. Then you didn't learn anything. You're cattle. You're sending other people like you to be in a similar predicament to yourself. Whatever. I'll start live streaming on YouTube tomorrow. Suck my.
He is just so vulgar and so crass and so unhinged. And guys, this is like one of the top go-to voices for political discourse and news among young people. He gets millions of adoring viewers across YouTube and Twitch and these other platforms. And he's like, he's dehumanizing this person. He is grossly attacking him on the basis of his veteran status. And these are all things that are blatantly against Twitch's community guidelines, the rules of the platform that apply to a lot of people. And a lot of people have been banned from Twitch, but not Hasan. For whatever reason, he is special. Here is their civility and respect policy under hateful conduct. Twitch aims to be a place where everyone can come together in shared community experiences. Yeah, when I watch those clips of Hasan, I'm just like, wow, what a wonderful, warm, shared community experience. Anyway, this vision is threatened when people experience harmful rhetoric and abuse on Twitch. Twitch does not permit behavior that is motivated by hate, prejudice, or intolerance, including behavior that promotes or encourages discrimination, denigration, harassment, or violence based on the following protected characteristics: race, ethnicity, color, caste, national origin, immigration status, religion, sex, gender, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, serious medical condition, and veteran status. We also provide for certain protections for age. Okay, so let's talk about this. They literally list, as makes sense to me at least, and as is pretty common, veteran status as a category for their hate speech and anti-discrimination policies, that you are not allowed to attack people on the basis of their veteran status. I am sorry, but when you are cussing out a veteran on your live stream and you are wishing that they enjoy their PTSD, suggesting they're a danger to their families, yes, it would seem to me, based on any blatant reading of your own rules, that would violate that, and that Hasan should face some sort of consequence from Twitch. But he knows he probably won't, and even if he does, it will just be a slap on the wrist, like a 1-day suspension or something, though he actually hasn't. So now this clip, like I said, is from almost a week ago, and he so far has faced no consequence. But he even seems to say this. He's like, this is going to, when a chatter's like, this is going to get clipped, you saying this, he doesn't care. He's like, I'll just stream on YouTube then. He knows that he is, or he views himself as essentially beyond reproach, right? Beyond accountability at Twitch, because he makes them so much money and he's one of their star content creators. And he also argues that, other creators these days, they used to ban people all the time, but like Asmongold, for example, has done other things that would seemingly violate Twitch's policies and not gotten banned for them. So Hasan makes that argument. But even then, that's not really a defense of your own actions. That just suggests maybe inconsistent enforcement should be applied to others as well. And he knows that Twitch probably won't do anything to him. They haven't. And they're incredibly selective and unfair. So listen, at the end of the day, if they want to be an absolute free speech platform like Rumble and just allow people to say heinous stuff, that I'm not necessarily bothered by that. But if you're going to have rules that explicitly state you can't say certain things or attack people in certain nasty ways, and then only selectively enforce those rules, not when your golden boy progressive blatantly violates them, that I do have a problem with, Twitch. That is absolutely not fair or ethical at all. And he's like rubbing it in their face. He's like, you won't ban me. He's almost taunting them. At some point, they should have a little bit of self-respect and be like, yes, we will, and enforce this. But I mean, he's said much worse stuff in the past. And it's crazy to me that, I think Gavin Newsom is going on his stream soon and doing a sit down with him. He is still somehow, despite all of this, despite the dog abuse allegations, the promotion of recognized terror groups, the calls for violence, the radical leftist Marxist philosophy he espouses. Despite all of this, he's like somehow a very mainstream and welcome figure in both liberal and progressive media and among many Democratic politicians. That's equally, if not more, concerning to me than the fact that millions of young people are getting their news and commentary and analysis on the world from somebody who's so emotionally unhinged and vitriolic and unstable. But really, none of it's great, actually. All of it's a bit concerning. That's my take, at least. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button if you haven't yet. And guys, that'll be it for today's episode of the Brad vs. Everyone podcast. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk again real soon.